Hello everybody, my name is Elijah Jackson, and did you know hurt people hurt people? Let's talk about that. I mentioned in my introduction video, which if you haven't seen, that I would be sharing a lot of information with you guys. Information that I've learned from a wonderful man of God, a man who I have seen God use to bring true healing to broken people's lives. I actually shared a very personal story about how my aunt's life was truly transformed by God through this person. So eventually, I will actually ask this person to come onto this channel to share many of the amazing things that he has done through his ministry in his life. So I really look forward to that. Hope you guys do too. Now, many of these people that I talked about in my first video that this man helped change their lives, many of these people were tremendously depressed and unhappy. But now they are full of life, hope, and are experiencing a life more abundantly. Like it mentions in John 10:10. By abundantly, I don't mean financially per se, even though that may be true as well, but I mean a genuine happiness and better quality of life. Now, I am sharing this knowledge that I have accumulated over the years so I can share it with you guys and hope it helps you guys the same way that it has helped my life. Now, this leads me to one of the first things that I was taught when I was younger, when I was going through my own struggles growing up in a difficult childhood. This is a foundational principle, so I will call this life principle or lesson number 1, having the right perception or perspective. Why is having the right perception so important? Well, simply put, how we view God, other people, circumstances, our own selves, and even our own actions will actually affect how we live, feel, and even respond to this world around us. Take the verse 1 John 5:19. And we know that we are of God, and the whole world lieth in wickedness. Now, at first glance, this verse can make you simply think that there are good people and there are bad people. But when you break that word wickedness down into the original Greek, which was the original language that the New Testament was translated from, the word comes from the Greek word poneris. There's like a r. I don't really know how to say it, but I will have this all up somewhere on the screen, which actually means hurtful. Now see, there is a lot of hurt in this world. We can all agree on that. But that word, which means hurtful, actually comes from another Greek word, which is ponos. Like I said, I don't know if I'm saying these right, but they'll be on the screen, which means anguish or pain. Now, make no mistake, I am not a theological person who knows Greek and Hebrew, but breaking down words into how they were meant originally, as opposed to modern day English, will better help us understand God's heart and how He perceives us and our world, and how we perceive others and the world around us so we can be more like Jesus. I believe what God is saying through His inspired word here is that the world is actually hurtful because it is in anguish and pain. I believe that God sees hurtful people, not as bad people, but as people who are suffering. Have you ever tried to help an injured animal, like a cat or a dog? Or like that one video that a lot of us have seen where the guy was getting the owl. The owl was wrapped up in something, I can't remember, some kind of string or something. And if you have, or you've seen videos of it, you know that things don't go completely well. An animal will bite or scratch you if you touch their injuries. Not because they want to be mean or because they don't want the help, but because they are in pain and they're suffering, and they act out of their suffering. People are much the same. Most everyone walks around with some type of wound or injury to their self-esteem, where they don't feel important or valuable. When someone touches those injuries or threatens their self-esteem, people tend to be hurtful back, just like an animal bites or scratches. I mention this because I truly believe this is one of the most important things to perceive as you go through life. We need to see other people, and even ourselves, when we fall short of our best or make mistakes, as injured people. Now, our injuries are not us. When you go to the doctor for cancer, the doctor doesn't look at you as being the cancer, do they? No. They recognize the cancer as something separate from the person. Something that when removed, the person won't be suffering anymore. God sees our injuries the same way, separate from the true us that He created us to be. Like it says in Ephesians 6:12, "For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this age, against spiritual hosts of wickedness in the heavenly places." Satan has gone through great lengths to deceive us, injure our self-esteem, and to discourage us from being all that we were created to be. People aren't the criminals. They are the true victims of how Satan has affected their life. But we don't have to stay victims. We can overcome Satan's illusions so we no longer suffer from how others treat us, but can focus on helping end the suffering of others. Now think about this. So the next time someone doesn't treat you right, remember, it isn't about you. There is always more to the story of what someone else has gone through and why they are treating you the way that they are. If someone is mean to you, show them kindness. Turn the other cheek. Become their punching bag. Metaphorically, of course. If you make a mistake and don't treat somebody else right, own up to it. Go to them and apologize. Give others a break and give yourself a break. We all fall short of the glory of God, but God can heal our injuries and we can have better relationships. We can perceive the hardships in this life less as a victim, see people through God's eyes, and become a champion for Him. We can truly help the brokenhearted and set the captives free if we have the right perception. And that's it for this week. I will see you guys next time.